This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have spent the final hours of the US election campaign blitzing through battleground states.
I've been waiting 4 years for this.
We're ready to win!
Long lines of people forming to cast their vote on election day here in America.
I'm so nervous.
Have you voted?
No, I just feel like that this day is so important. Could this be one of the most significant elections globally?
Well, they all
in
are.
history.
But this says a lot, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people watching to be done as well, isn't there? I think it's not just the election. It's not just today. It's the flow-on effect and what is going to happen in the following days.
You can feel some nervous energy, can't you?
One man who is in the eye of the storm, Washington, D.C., is David Woiwod, Channel 7 News, US Bureau Chief. David, what is the feeling there at the moment? Because I just feel like, David, that everyone can see the script. He's already claiming that there's going to be cheating in certain states. But what does it feel like on the ground?
Well, you sort of nailed it there right off the top. A whole lot of nervous energy. Good morning, guys. Look, we've already had millions and millions of people cast those ballots in the past few weeks through mail-in and early voting. We still have around 80 or so million Americans that will be heading to those ballot boxes today. Look, we're on the East Coast. I'm at a Kamala Harris watch party. This is where she is expected later tonight. It could be a party or it could be a political wake. We don't know how it's going to actually turn out for her, but yeah, look, the feeling is just one of kind of anxiousness, and we know that the Democrats have been pushing that message and that line that they fully expect Donald Trump to roll out that 2020 playbook where he sort of came out halfway through the count late in the night on election night and claimed victory. Now, at this point, the Republicans and the Trump team are saying that they won't be doing that unless they see proof and evidence of irregularities. We know that last time they claimed there was irregularities, but simply weren't. I mean, it was chucked out of 60 courthouses across the country in the weeks after that election. So I don't know. Like you say, it's one of the most historic and consequential. It's certainly been shaping up for that for weeks, and yeah, we're just going to have to see where America
Dave,
takes this.
What concerns me is, I mean, there's some unrest in the US, we know that, very much so. And we enter this circus where, my God, it closes at 10 o'clock today in terms of voting Australian time, but it will carry on and we won't have a result for a very long time. So what concerns me is the stories you hear about some level of civil war breaking out based on where the voters stand.
That is the fears being whipped up sort of by both sides doing a bit of finger pointing at this moment. Look, we don't know where it's going to fall, and God, we hope it doesn't descend into violence, but we know what happened in 2021, of course, after the 2020 election there, where Congress had to go and certify those results, and Donald Trump held that now infamous January 6th rally in the Ellipse on the lawn just out the front of the White House, and he directed his supporters to head up to the Capitol, Congress, where all those members, those lawmakers were sitting to certify those results. We know what happened next. It ended in violence. We had mobs marauding through the halls of the Capitol, chanting Nancy Pelosi's name, hang Mike Pence. It really ratcheted it up. And look, there's been a lot of people. I've been to so many Trump rallies over the past few weeks, and we've crisscrossed all of those battleground states. And I can tell you just even anecdotally, from a lot of Trump supporters that I've just been speaking with, they have been saying to me that November 5 is not the important day. January 6 is now the important day on that election calendar. Now, I don't know what that means and what is planned, but certainly the FBI and other, policing, federal law agencies have been keeping a very close eye on all of this, and they are they're on high alert right now.
January 6th.
What does that mean?
Is that the anniversary?
Insinuating that something will go down.
Possibly. We just don't know. We don't know. We don't know what Donald Trump and his team now have planned in the next few hours. I think that if the result comes in, the Democrats lose, unless they haven't got a track record of challenging these results in the same manner that the Republicans have, but particularly that inner sanctum within Donald Trump, Donald Trump's team that have been so unsuccessful as well. You've got to remember, they did this last time. There was 60 court cases across the country, Fulton County in Georgia, Maricopa in Arizona, and they challenged and they failed. Yeah.
David, can I ask you a serious question? You've been on the ground there, right? Can you give us because you know, with media now, I mean, everything is blown out of proportion a little bit, and I know Trump is extreme and all this kind of stuff, and then the other side as well. But the people that you've met at Trump rallies, and then the Kamala Harris fans, can you tell us? Are they just normal people? Are what we read in the media every day, is it magnified by so much? Are they normal people, or what have you found with either side?
They're normal people until you get to the fringes of those parties. So you go to a Trump rally, very lovely people. Lovely. Like, you run into so many nice family-oriented people, but then you can start talking about things and they will start then saying, well, of course, 2020 was stolen. And that's when you start going, what evidence do you have? Where did you get that idea from? Or you will be having, and this happened to me just a few weeks ago, I was having a really sensible chat with this lady. And then she said to me that what the Democrats had done with the hurricane through North Carolina a few weeks ago was deplorable. I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, obviously they're playing with the weather. And that's when you sort of just go, I don't know what I'm dealing with here.
Just don't ask too many questions.
These are just isolated, so you can't sort of tar a whole political movement with that. But, that kind of stuff.
And do you think that the celebrities who throw their weight behind either party, that they have a really big influence? Like, do you think there are people out there thinking, I'm going to vote for Trump because X, Y, and Z do? Or, you know, if I knew who Taylor was voting for, then that's who I'd be voting for. Do you know? Does that make sense?
I think when you get celebrities as big as Taylor, you will get that little bump. And she tweeted out or whatever, put online that link to registering to vote, right? And there was that bump. I think 300,000 people had sort of gone through her link. But for the most part, I think people sort of shun the idea of celebrities telling them what to do. But what it does do is sort of just keep this sense of momentum. And momentum's such a difficult thing to sort of quantify in a political campaign. But whether or not it's Beyonce in Texas throwing her weight behind Kamala Harris, or it's Hulk Hogan, you know, sort of pushing it for Donald Trump, I don't think people are going to be swayed either way by that. There might be a little bit of interest and a bump and a bit of enthusiasm derived from that, but beyond that, people kind of shirk and sort of shun that idea.
Well, Dave, you've got your favourite watering hole there in Washington, the Screaming Eagle. You got kicked out of there last time, but you having a couple of bourbons there at the moment, mate, or you?
Yeah, I just thought I'd just gear up for the Civil War and get a couple of
You're Australian, mate. You can throw a few yourself, David. We appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck,
buddy.
Well, we're going to keep you updated all morning. It's fascinating, isn't it? Like,
what a spectacle.
Well, you even spoke about it in the studio yesterday.
Feels
You're
like a sport.
There's just this feeling of like anticipation and what's going to happen next.
Well, and you know what? Could we have another 3 years of hate? This is what I'm really scared.
I know. And you think to yourself, it seems unbalanced, and it doesn't seem like the world could move forward like that. Like, we can't develop and grow forward
I'm
with him there.
As a parent, I don't know. I find it really hard when I'm trying to teach my kids the right thing, and every day we have the television on and Dad's watching the news and the kids see this.
Well, the news is sometimes the worst thing to watch, isn't it? It doesn't make the world look like a safe, happy place.
There's the soon-to-be president driving a garbage truck again.
Like, just is mad. It's madness.
It is actual madness.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.